also okay. And now this is character of ecstatic love. Further explanation of Bhava Bhakti. Yeah. So just a brief recap of chapter 17. We saw the primary characteristic of definition of Bhava Bhakti Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma. That one is situated in a transcendental mode of goodness, which is beyond the three modes of material nature. And then secondary characteristic is chitta mashranya, the heart softens and one is able to taste various kinds of mellows or rasa. So this we discussed. And then we discussed about achieving bhava. So we saw that there are two ways. One is by practice and another is by mercy. So by practice, there were again two ways. One is by Vaidhi sadhana and by Raganuga sadhana. And by mercy, there are three ways that we saw. So one is Vachika by words, by Darshana Dana glances, and third is Harda good wishes or heartfelt blessings. So this is how one reaches to the stage of Bhava. And we saw example for each one of them. Uh, we saw example for each one of them. For Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, we saw the example of Narad Muni. Uh, then for Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, we saw the example of that dancer lady who danced whole night out of a desire to serve in the way the gopis do with Krishna. And then by mercy, there were three. By Vachika, we saw that how Lord himself gave the blessings to Narad Muni. Then darshan or glances, we saw the example of the inhabitants of Jangala province, which was mentioned in Skanda Puran. When they saw the beautiful darshan of the Lord, immediately the bhava was evoked within them. And heartfelt blessings, we saw the example of Shukdev Goswami. He was given these heartfelt blessings when he was in the womb. And the same way, Narad Muni bestowed his blessings unto Prahlad Maharaj when he was in the womb. And Narad Muni also bestowed his heartfelt blessings to the hunter. So all these examples were mentioned. Okay. So just give me a moment. I forgot to make this thing. I'm sorry to make you all wait. So, symptoms of bhava, as Rupa Goswami is going to further explain in this chapter. So, before that, then he mentions this point that Chittam Ashranya is one of the characteristic of uh, Bhav Bhakti. What means? It means softening of the heart. And because of this softening of the heart, one becomes very sensitive towards emotions in Krishna consciousness. So last session we discussed this verse 2, 3, 24, that heart is steel framed if by chanting the holy name tears doesn't flow and hairs doesn't stand on end. So in that particular uh, purport, Prabhupada mentions that the bhav stage is manifested by 8 transcendental symptoms, namely inertness, perspiration, standing of hairs on end, failing in the voice or trembling, paleness of the body, tears in the eyes, and finally trance or samadhi. So then, this are such things which generally can be imitated by some actor, actress, or even some neophyte devotees. And hence, these symptoms are not sufficient to ascertain whether somebody is really on the bhava stage or not. Hmm. So, as you might be knowing the story that once when Haridas Thakur he was passing by, and as he was passing by, he saw there was one this thing, snake charmer. Hmm. So, snake charmer, he was uh, with the that snake was there, and he was playing his instrument, and the snake was dancing. Hmm. And Haridas Thakur, while he was passing by chanting his holy names, he saw this dance of that snake, and then he became so absorbed in the pastime of Lord's, this thing, Kalia Daman. Hmm. So he became so absorbed in that thought that he himself started dancing in the mood as Krishna was dancing on the Kalia. Hmm. So suddenly these emotions aroused within him. And then the snake charmer, he and so many others who were very busy seeing that dance of the snake charmer and the snake. And they all were also amazed to see the beautiful dance of Haridas Thakur. And as they were seeing that dance, so after some time, then Haridas Thakur came to his external consciousness, and then he was a little bit shy, that, oh, what I was doing and gathering attention of the people. So he immediately left that place. From that, he went away. And as he went away, so then there was another person who wanted that, Arey, why all attention is going towards Haridas. So then he also started dancing in the same way as Haridas Thakur was dancing. Hmm. And as he was dancing, the snake charmer, he understood that he is simply a imitator and making a drama. So he took a stick and he started beating this imitator. Hmm. And as he started beating, he was, oh, 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 he was making this kind of sounds, affected by his beating. And then he immediately stopped this snake charmer and said, Hey, just now, few minutes before, this Haridas was also dancing, but you did not beat him with the stick, and now you are beating me. So then he said, because you are imitator, and he was expressing that real sense. So just to make people aware that you are an imitator, I am beating you, and my beating is affecting you. If you had real bhav, my beating would not have affected you. You would have still continued your dancing in the absorption with, Krishna. In the same lines, we hear this also that once in Vrindavan during the time of Srila Prabhupada, uh, some devotees, they were in the temple hall, and suddenly they saw one person. He came and he started. dancing very violently in front of the deities, jumping up and down, rolling on the ground, and somewhat tears falling from his eyes, all these things. So then all devotees felt, whoa, wow, such a wonderful devotee has arrived in our temple. So they immediately reported Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, such a wonderful devotee has arrived in our temple. Uh, so then Prabhupada said, take a stick and beat him. Mm. And then you will understand how much real he is. So this kind of imitators are always there just to make a show and grab the attention of innocent people. Mm. So somewhere ahead it will come that innocent people get affected by it. But those who are in knowledge, they know that real bhav is something different. Mm. So in order to make us understand what the real bhav is, so Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport of that verse 2, 3, 24. So here it is. Please, somebody can read this.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada. Symptoms of Bhava. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has very critically discussed all these Bhava displays in connection with some
Unscrupulous neophyte.
unscrupulous neophyte is imitating the above symptoms for cheap appreciation.
So above symptoms means the symptoms which I mentioned just now, 8 symptoms, perspiration and tears and all those. Yeah.
Not only Vishwanath Chakravarti, but also Srila Rupa Goswami treated them very critically. Sometimes all the above 8 symptoms of ecstasy are imitated by the mundane devotees, Prakruta Sahajiyas, but the psycho symptoms are
Pseudo symptoms.
Pseudo symptoms are not at once detected when one sees the pseudo devotee dedicated to so many forbidden things. Addicted to so many forbidden things, even though decorated with the sign of devotee. A person addicted to smoking, drinking, or illicit sex with women can't have all the above mentioned aesthetic symptoms. But it is seen that sometimes these symptoms are willful imitated. And for this reason, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti accused the imitators of being stone-hearted men. They are sometimes even affected by the reflection of such transcendental symptoms. Yet, if they still do not give up the forbidden habits, then they are hopeless case of transcendental realization. Hence, external symptoms not sufficient to ascertain.
Ascertain whether somebody is on the stage of bhava or not. Everybody got it? The point? What Prabhupada is trying to say in this purport? Anybody would like to summarize in their own words? I was guessing it. That's why I asked it. So here what Prabhupada is saying. Yeah, somebody was saying something. Yeah, you would like to say?
So here what I'm trying to say is, while all these external symptoms might appear in the devotee, not necessary that the devotee is actually a neophyte devotee. There be instances where these are only expressions and it is not the true bhava of the devotee which is coming out.
Yeah, to some extent, you're right.
And
so,
if some devotee is not following these 4 regulative principles, it is very difficult for that devotee to get these symptoms. If it is showing this, like he's showing these symptoms, so that is like fake symptoms.
Correct. Very good. Anybody else? Very nice. Anybody else would like to add?
Some devotees want to pose as if they are real devotees, and that is what they are said as Prakruti Sahajiya. and they'll have mundane characteristics only with them, but not their actual devotional service. They will not have in actual in service. So they just act for the sake of recognition.
Correct. Very
And
good.
also, these kind of devotees who are like imitators, they are like stone hearted. So basically, they have the propensity to cheat others.
Hmm. Right. Yes, very good. So all of you now clearly understood what is Prabhupada wanting to say. So one may exhibit these symptoms, but not necessarily that he is actually on that platform. That is the essence of this paragraph. One may do that for cheap adoration, or one may do it just to attract the attention of the people. So actually, as long as one is addicted to all this smoking, drinking, and illegitimate sex, so above mentioned ecstatic symptoms cannot be manifested in the truest sense. They can be imitated, but not manifested. There is a difference between manifestation and imitation. Imitation is you bring it out on you by the fake way, just like even the actors and actress, they also have this ability to bring out tears, while they are performing their drama, or their scene in the cinema. So not that they are actually having tears, but they have that ability, I mean, either by applying glycerin or something or whatever, by that they do it, but it is not the real thing. And that's why it is said at the end of the paragraph that they may be even affected by reflection of such transcendental symptoms. So what is this? We will come to know ahead in this particular chapter, but you can just note it down that they may be affected by reflection of such transcendental symptoms. The transcendental symptoms are there, but they may be actually having the reflection. Yet, if they don't give up these forbidden habits of smoking, drinking, and illegitimate sex, then they are hopeless cases for transcendental realization. There is no hope for them to further progress, rather they are going to degrade. So this is what Srila Prabhupada wants to say. So therefore, then the 9 reliable symptoms has to be discussed. Please read further. Same in this same purport Prabhupada is mentioning.
Therefore, real steady bhava is definitely displayed in the matter of cessation of material desires, shanti, utilization of every moment in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, ayartha kailatvam,
Avyartha kalatvam.
Avyartha kalatvam,
Yeah.
Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya. Eagerness of glorifying the Lord constantly, Namagane Shada Ruchi, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Attraction for loving in the land of the Lord, Pritis Tadvasati Stale, Pritis Tadvasati Stale. Complete detachment from material happiness, Virakti, and pridelessness, Manasonyata. One who has developed all these transcendental qualities is really possessed of the bhava stage, as distinguished from the stone-hearted imitator or mundane devotee.
Correct. So then these 9 reliable symptoms Srila Prabhupada explains in the first part of this book. Somebody can read one by one. I am going to display them.
Rupa Goswami next describes the
Here
characteristics
in the
of a
slide,
person.
Mataji, in the slide.
Oh, sorry.
It's 7 o'clock.
Avyartha Kalatvam. He is always anxious to utilize his time in the devotional service of the Lord. He does not like to be idle. He wants a service always, 24 hours a day, without deviation. Shanti. He is always reserved and perseverant. He is always detached from all material attraction. He does not long for any material respect in return for his activities. He is always certain
Also
that
read,
Krishna will
you can
bestow
also
his
read the
mercy upon him.
Sanskrit term, Mataji. The
Okay.
Sanskrit term is also there.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Virakti. He is always detached from all material attraction. Mana Sunyata. He does not long for any material respect in return for his activities. Asha Bandha. He is always certain that Krishna will bestow his mercy upon him. Samuktanta. He is always
Samutkanta.
very Samutkantha. He is always very eager to serve the Lord faithfully. Nama Gane Sadaruchi. He is very much attached to the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Asakti Tad Gunathyane. He is always eager to describe the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Pritis Tad Vasati Sthale. He is very pleased to live in a place where the Lord's pastimes are performed. Example, Madhura, Vrindavana or Dwaraka.
Yeah. So now you see all these 9 symptoms, very difficult to imitate, isn't it? Hmm. Any of
Yes.
this you see. Asakti is the gunakhyane. Can you imitate that, that you have always eager to describe the transcendent qualities? Cannot be imitated. Nama Gane Sadaruchi, always attached to chanting the holy names. Cannot be imitated. This maybe can be shown, but when somebody stays with such a person for a long time, then it will be revealed. Whether it is actual attachment or it is just a show. So all these reliable symptoms, uh, Rupa Goswami is mentioning. That's why then when you see these, then it is difficult to actually imitate these. So now further ahead, in this particular chapter, then Rupa Goswami gives us a brief explanation of each of them. So now in the book, we can start reading. Somebody can read now. Utilization of time.
Utilization of time. An unalloyed devotee who has developed ecstatic love for Krishna is always engaging his verse and reciting prayers to the Lord. Within the mind, he's always thinking of Krishna, and with his body, he either offers obeisances by bowing down before the deity or engages in some other service. During these ecstatic activities, he sometimes shed tears. In this way, his whole life is engaged in the service of the Lord, with not a moment wasted on any other engagement.
So always he is engaged. Externally, internally. Both ways he is always engaged. Not a single moment goes waste. Yes, next.
Shall I continue, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Perseverance. When a person is undisturbed even in the presence of various causes of disturbance, he is called reserved and perseverant. An example of this perseverance and reservation is found in the behavior of King Parikshit, as described in the first canto, 19th chapter, verse 15 of Srimad Bhagavatam. The king says that there to all the sages present before him at the time of his death, "My dear Brahmanas, you should always accept me as your surrendered servant. I have come to the bank of the Ganges just to devote my heart and soul onto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So please bless me that Mother Ganges may also be pleased with me. Let the curse of Brahmana's son fall upon me. I do not mind. I only request that at the last moment of my life, all of you will kindly chant the holy name of Vishnu so that I may realize his transcendental qualities." This example of Maharaja Parikshit's behavior, his remaining patient even at the last point of his life, his undisturbed condition of mind, is an example of reservation. This is one of the characteristics of a devotee who has developed ecstatic love for Krishna.
Any other example like this you remember?
Bhismadev.
Bhishma Deva. How?
He was also at the time of his deathbed, though he was in Ayurveda, he was still remembering Krishna and then praying.
Yes.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Bhishma Deva was so much in difficulty actually. First is that his own beloved Lord was in the other side and he had to fight, with the Lord and his beloved grandsons. And at the same time, then he was in the bed of arrow for so many days. You can imagine sometimes we get a small cut with the knife or something, how much painful it is. And here we see Prahlad Maharaj was pierced with arrows to such an extent that there was not even any space remaining in the body. So many arrows were being pierced. So what must be that pain? But in that, he was remembering the Lord, and he was waiting for that opportune moment when the Lord will come with his devotees, Pandavas, to see me. So that is how. Yes, somebody said Prahlad Maharaj. Yeah, that is also really true. Prahlad Maharaj had also so many reasons for getting disturbed, but he was always focused on remembering the Lord. Any other example?
Even Dhruva Maharaj comes under this.
Dhruva Maharaj, yeah, he was also there, no doubt. But now when we are talking about, we should not just see who is doing perseverance, but one who is on the stage of bhava.
Okay.
That also has to be seen.
Kunti Maharani.
Kunti Maharani. Okay, yes. I'm looking for one very famous example from Bhagavatam. Ambarish
Ambarish
Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Ambarish Maharaj. So he was also being attacked by the demon created by the tuft hair of Durvasa Muni. But he was standing there still. So we can relate actually when in our life so many difficulties occur. The first thing that affects is our spiritual life. When so many difficulties arose, the first thing that affects is our spiritual life. Whereas in their cases, whatever happens, it is never affected. That is the stage of bhava, perseverance. Yes, somebody can read next.
Detachment. The saints are always desiring sense enjoyment, but when a devotee develops transcendental love for Krishna, his senses are no longer attracted by material desire. This state of mind is called as detachment. There is nice example of this detachment in connection with the character of King Bharat. In 5th canto's 14th chapter, verse 43 of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Emperor Bharat was so attracted by the beauty of the lotus feet of Krishna that even in his youth life he gave up all kinds of attachments to family, children, friends, kingdom, etc., as though they were untouchable stools. Emperor Bharat provides a typical example of detachment. He had everything enjoyable in the material world, but he left it. This means that detachment does not mean artificially keeping oneself aloof and apart from the allurements of attachment. Even in the presence of such allurements, if one can remain unattracted by material attachment, he is called detached. In the beginning, of course, the neophyte devotee must try to keep himself apart from all kinds of alluring attachments. But the real position of a mature devotee is that even in the presence of all allurements, he is not at all attracted. This is the actual criterion for detachment.
You see, we also studied Yukta Vairagya and Phalgu Vairagya, remember? So there it was mentioned that everything is in connection with Krishna and one utilizes them without being attached to it. So that is real detachment. So here also something similar. Bharat Maharaj was attracted towards the beauty of the lotus feet of Krishna so much that it was not very difficult for him to give up all the attachment towards Atma Jaya Suta Gara Pashu Dravina Bandhushu. So all these things, Atma means one's own body, Jaya wife, Suta means children, Agara means palace, Pashu means horses and elephants, Dravina means all the treasury, Bandhushu means all the relatives. Rajya Chavi Kale Nityam, Rajya, whole kingdom. Viridam mamatam jaho. He had no mamata towards them. Why? Because he was so attracted. So then Prabhupada is mentioning here very wonderful thing. Detachment does not mean artificially keeping oneself aloof and apart from the allurements of attachment. So, whereas even in the presence of such allurements, one is unattracted to them. He is called detached. So this stage of bhava means what? The senses automatically go towards Krishna. So in one of the Abhanga of Tukaram Maharaj, he says, Padile valana indriya sakal. All my senses have got the habit of serving Krishna. So that is the stage, So then for them to, there is no question of, first of all, giving up anything. But even we say giving it up, then it is easy for them. It is not a very difficult thing, So this is one of the, again, symptom of bhava. Yes, somebody else can read next. Quickly.
Sidelessness. When a devotee, instead of possessing all the qualities of pure realization, is not proud of his position, he is called sideless. In the Padma Purana, it is stated that King Bhagirath was the emperor above all other kings. Yet he developed such ecstatic love for Krishna that he became a mendicant and went out begging even to the homes of his political enemies and untouchables. He was so humble that he respectfully bowed down before them. There are many similar instances in the history of India. Even very recently, about 200 years ago or less, one big landlord known as Lal Babu, a Calcutta landholder, became a Vaishnava and lived in Vrindavana. He was also begging from door to door, even at the homes of his political enemies. Begging involves being ready to the insulted person to whom one has come. That is natural, but one has to tolerate such insults for the sake of Krishna. The devotee of Krishna can accept any position in the service of Krishna.
So, has Prabhupada offered us anything like this wherein we will be able to experience this?
Book distribution.
Yes. And fund collection.
Fund collection.
These are the two things wherein we should be ready to bear all kind of insult. So obviously we also know that we are doing this on behalf of Prabhupada and others, our parampara, and we are also offering the opportunity for the people so that they can serve well. But here it is mentioned that this is on the stage of bhav. One does not feel any kind of pride. So this is very, very special, Actually, people in general, they don't have anything in them, but they will boast so much about all their accolades, and their accomplishments, as if they have only done everything. Whereas devotees, they know that, by Krishna's mercy, it is done through me, but still they will not speak about it anytime. You see, every time we hear somebody asking Prabhupada about his success, he always said, all my disciples are doing all these things, Or he said, on some other places, he said, all of you, saying to his disciples, all of you are representative of my spiritual master. So never he took credit with himself. He always gave credit to others. So this is a quality of a genuine devotee. Although many things he will be doing, but he will never take credit for that. Yes. Next, somebody can read.
Great hope. The strong conviction that one will certainly receive the favor of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead is called in Sanskrit Asabandha. Asabandha means to continue to think. Because I am trying my best to follow the routine principles of devotional service, I am sure that I will go back to Godhead, back to home. In this connection, one prayer by Rupa Goswami is sufficient to exemplify this hopefulness. He says, I have no love for Krishna, nor for the cause of developing love of Krishna, namely hearing and chanting. And the process of Bhakti Yoga, by which one is always thinking of Krishna and fixing his lotus feet in the heart, is also lacking in me. As far as philosophical knowledge or pious works are concerned, I don't see any opportunity for me to execute such activities. But above all, I am not even born of a nice family. Therefore, I must simply pray to you, Gopijana Vallabha, Krishna, maintainer and beloved of the gopis. I simply wish and hope that some way or other I may be able to approach your lotus feet, and this hope is giving me pain because I think myself quite incompetent to approach the transcendental goal of life. The purport is that under this heading of Asa Bandha, one should continue to hope against hope that some way or other he will be able to approach the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna.
Mhm. So here we see that this great devotee, he is on the stage of bhava. Now we should understand when we are reading this, it is not a neophyte devotee, talking this. We also sometimes have this kind of feeling, oh, I am so incompetent and this, that. But here, that devotee is actually competent. He is actually in the stage of bhava. And in that stage of bhava, he is feeling he is incompetent. In the stage of bhava, he is feeling that I don't have, any love for Krishna. I don't have any taste in hearing and chanting, I don't have, all these things. So this is a very, very elevated state. So we should not relate our state with this, state. At the same time, there is no problem in having hope against hope, as here the devotee is having. But this is on a very advanced level. This hope against hope is being expressed. Hmm? So like that. And then this is a beautiful prayer by Rupa Goswami himself, that how I am in such a uh, very difficult situation and only hope is you, my Lord. Yes, next one. Samutkantha.
Eagerness for achieving the desired success. When one is sufficiently eager to achieve success in devotional service, that eagerness is called samutkantha. This means complete eagerness. Actually, this eagerness is the price for achieving success in Krishna consciousness. Everything has some value, and one has to pay the value before obtaining or processing it. It is stated in the Vedic literature that to purchase the most valuable thing, Krishna consciousness, one has to develop intense eagerness for achieving success. This intense eagerness is very nicely expressed by Bilvamangala Thakura in his book Krishna Karnamrita. He says, I am eagerly waiting to see that boy of Vrindavana, whose bodily beauty is captivating the whole universe, whose eyes are always bounded by black eyebrows and expanded like lotus petals, and who is always eagerly glancing over his devotees and therefore moving slightly here and there. His eyes are always moist, his lips are colored like copper, and through those lips there comes a sound vibration which drives one madder than a mad elephant. I want so much to see him at Vrindavana.
Hmm. So here again, complete eagerness. Samutkantha, Utkantha is the word. And this is Samutkantha, much more
Complete,
eager. Hmm?
complete eagerness.
Yeah, completely eager. So to see Krishna, to serve Krishna. So, and Prabhupada is mentioning this kind of eagerness is actually the price that one has to pay to achieve success in Krishna consciousness. So unless we have this intensity of eagerness in doing everything in Krishna consciousness, we will be just coasting along the process of Krishna consciousness. We will not be going deep into the ocean of devotional service. So that is eagerness. I would request that other devotees also read. Generally, the devotees who are always reading are only reading. So everyone can participate. Yes, next.
Attachment to chanting the holy names of the Lord. In the same Krishna Karnamrita, there is another statement about the chanting of Radharani. It is said by one of the associates of Radharani, O Lord Govinda, the girl who is the daughter of King Vrishabhanu is now shedding tears, and she is anxiously chanting your holy name. Krishna, Krishna.
So, Namagane Sada Ruchi. Continuously, there is only one thought about chanting the holy name of the Lord, and there is taste derived by chanting that holy name. So, in our conditioned state, we have a difficulty in chanting. So, why we have difficulty in chanting? That is also mentioned by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Instruction. You have completed Nectar of Instruction?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, what is that? What is mentioned by Rupa Goswami there? Why we are not able to chant? Why there is no taste?
No, wrong. Namaruchi is not there.
Yeah,
Taste
but why
is
it is not there?
We have a tendency to cheat others.
No.
The nama aparadha, there are like different kind of aparadha that we do, and because of that we don't get the ruchi chanting.
That means these are all not wrong answers, but what Rupa Goswami has said.
Because we lost relationship with Krishna.
No. There is a direct verse about it.
Direct verse.
Yeah.
I got Prabhuji.
Syat Krishna Nam Charita Adi Sitapte Pittopataptarasana na rochikanu Kintu Adarat Anudinam Khalu Saiva Jushtat Sadvi Kramat Bhavati Tadgati Mula Hantri. This is the verse. I think 8th or 7th, I don't remember. So here, what Rupa Goswami is saying that actually holy name of the Lord is very, very sweet, like sugarcane juice. But when we are tasting it, how are we feeling? We are feeling it bitter. Why? Because pittopataptarasana, our tongue is covered by the layer of pitta. We have got disease of liver.
Jaundice.
Because of which, jaundice. Because of which, the same sweet sugarcane juice is bitter. Then one may say, "Oh, what do I do now?" But the solution for the jaundice patient is that he keeps drinking that sugarcane juice. So similarly, Rupa Goswami says, "Kintu adarat anudinam khalu saiva jushtat." Just keep chanting the holy name of the Lord. How? That is very important. Now we don't have taste, certainly. So there is no question that with taste we will chant. But then how to chant? Adarat and Anudinam. Adarat means with great respect. And Anudinam means every day. So we should chant the holy name with full respect every day. And what it means to chant with full respect? It means that to know that holy name and Krishna, they are non-different, and hence we chant attentively. When we chant, we hear the names. So that is there. Nothing else comes between our mouth and ear. Only thing that has to be there between our mouth and ear is the mind. But in our case, exactly opposite happens. Our mind is somewhere else, and so many other things are there with us, especially the small 6-8 inches device, which has become our best friend. So we see from Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, Krishna says, Bandhur Atmat Manastaiva Atmanam Ripuratmana. That mind can be the best friend and mind can be the worst enemy. Similarly, this mobile is also like that. It can be the best friend and it can be our worst enemy. So, anyways, the point is that Kintu Adarat Anudinam. if we are able to chant the holy name with respect and in a daily with a specific prescribed number of rounds, then swadvi kramat bhavati tad gada mula hantri. Then slowly, sadvi kramat means gradually the taste will be revived. But when the mula hantri, the disease will be eradicated from root, then the taste will be there in full. So that is Namagane Sadaruchi is that stage when all these diseases are gone and one is chanting the holy name with taste. And in our stage, we have to chant with respect and on a daily basis. Okay. Yes. Continue, Mataji.
Yes, Guruji. Attraction for living in a place where Krishna has his pastime.
Before that, eagerness to
Oh, sorry.
describe.
Eagerness to describe the Lord's transcendental qualities. Attachment for chanting the glories of the Lord is also expressed in the Krishna Karnamrita as follows. What shall I do for Krishna, who is pleasing beyond all pleasurable conceptions and who is naughtier than all restless boys? The idea of Krishna's beautiful activities is attracting my heart, and I do not know what I can do.
So eagerness to describe the Lord's transcendental qualities. We see that wherever we hear Prabhupada is all over the world, he's traveling and he is describing the transcendental qualities of the Lord in the form of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And he's not at all tired to do that. We hear whenever he is traveling and landing to some place, immediately there will be arrival address. And then Prabhupada it is mentioned by many devotees who had served Prabhupada very closely that whenever Prabhupada would land in some country, he would ask, what's the time? And then he would set in his watch and that's it. He would continue. No jet lag, nothing. That is amazing. It is beyond our understanding actually. And immediately there would be arrival address. Then Prabhupada would, according to that time, he would keep doing his activities. And in the night, he would keep translating the books for all of us. And in the next day morning, again, he is ready. Probably, I don't know. There is no mention. I have not heard. What about his servants? What was happening with them? But certainly, it is not so easy to serve such a great personality. I have one friend who was serving his spiritual master and for some time, and he said, my God, it is not so easy. Many times we feel, when will I get opportunity to serve my spiritual master? But those who are serving their spiritual master, they are, in a different zone. So it is very intense. So my point is that they are always eager in describing the glories of the Lord. I remember one instance in once, I think Jananivas Prabhu or Pankaj Angri Prabhu, he was there in Mumbai at Bhaktivedanta Hospital. He was undergoing some treatment. And there was some festival, either Gaur Purnima or Janmashtami, something. I think it was Gaur Purnima. In Chowpatty, it was being celebrated, and His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was giving class. And next day, he went and met Prabhuji in hospital. And then he asked, so what did you speak yesterday in the class? And then Maharaj just sat in an erect position as if he is now beginning the Bhagavatam class. And he almost repeated all the things what he spoke yesterday. Oh, this is really amazing, like many times we are also, somebody asks us, Acha, Prabhuji, what did you spoke yesterday in your class? So first of all, I have to scratch my head because I also don't know what I spoke. So, and the second thing is to repeat whatever I have spoken again. That is another, difficulty because we are always looking for some variety. Okay, now last session we had chapter 17, now chapter 18. We don't again do chapter 17, we need some variety. But great souls, they can speak the glories of the Lord again and again, Even I remember our Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Chidadahi festival. he used to be there in Pune many times for Chidadai festival. And he would always repeat that pastime, same pastime, about Raghunath Das Goswami every year in the same way, And there was, we don't feel bored, even to hear also. Why? Because they are speaking with such enthusiasm and such taste. They have that eagerness to describe the transcendental glories of the Lord. So this is the stage, it's a very higher stage, beyond our understanding. Yes, somebody else can read the next 2 paragraphs.
Attraction for living in a place where Krishna has his pastimes. In the book Padyavalli by Rupa Goswami, there is the following statement about Vrindavana. In this place, the son of Maharaj Nanda used to live with his father, who was king of all cowherd men. In his place, Lord Krishna broke the cart in which the Sankatasura demon was Shakatasura demon was concealed. At this place, Damodara, who can cut the knot of our material existence, was tied up by his mother Yashoda. A pure devotee of Lord Krishna resides in the district of Mathura or Vrindavana and visits all the places where Krishna's pastimes were performed. At these sacred places, Krishna displayed his childhood activities with the cowherd boys and Mother Yashoda. The system of circumambulating all the places is still current among devotees of Lord Krishna, and those coming to Mathura and Vrindavan always feel transcendental pleasure. Actually, if someone goes to Vrindavana, he will immediately feel separation from Krishna, who performed such nice activities when he was present there.
Continue.
Such attraction for remembering Krishna's activities is known as attachment for Krishna. There are impersonalists, philosophers, and mystics, however, who by a show of devotional service want ultimately to merge into the existence of Supreme Lord. They sometimes try to imitate pure devotees' sentiment for visiting the holy places where Krishna had his pastimes, but they simply have a view for salvation, and so their activities cannot be considered attachment.
Yeah, thank you. So now, after this, we'll again enter into the slideshow. Okay, so then manifestation of a real rati. So it is said, however, it should be said, if softness of heart. So we saw in the beginning of this chapter that in the stage of bhava, one of the symptom is that heart becomes soft. So if softness of heart is the symptom of rati, becomes clearly visible in the person desiring liberation or in other unqualified person, then it is not a real rati. What it means? That softness of heart is certainly one of the symptom of bhava bhakta. At the same time, this softness of heart can also be seen in somebody others who are not on the stage of bhava bhakta, like somebody desiring liberation. Okay? Or even somebody who is having some material desires. So there also may be some kind of softness of heart be seen. But then Rupa Goswami mentions that such a manifestation of softness of heart, which is not in the pure devotees, but in those who are having the tendency of liberation or some material desires, then it is not real rati. Then what it is? We will see that. So again, another question here is how can rati means taste, appear in persons having desires for enjoyment or liberation? Those persons do not perform pure bhakti. Rati is sought out by those liberated from all desires, and it is not given by Krishna immediately even to devotees, since it is most secret. So the taste in Krishna consciousness is not very easily achieved. Even Krishna doesn't give it to devotees. What to talk of those wanting enjoyment or liberation? So there is no question. And what does Prabhupada say about it? Innocent are attracted, but intelligent know it to be ratyabhas. So there are some people who get attracted to this kind of softness of heart exemplified by those who want liberation or some material desire. But those who are intelligent know actually this is not real rati or real attraction for Krishna, but it is a semblance, ratyabhas, abhas. We see the nam abhas, the word nam abhas. There are three stages of chanting, nam aparad, nam abhas, and shuddha nam. So similarly, the nam abhas means what? It is the shadow of holy name, not the real holy name, real name. So similarly, ratya abhas means it is the shadow of or semblance of similarity as that of rati, but not real rati. So what is this ratya abhas then? It is nothing but reflection of bhav. Okay. So this is ratyabhas, which has got two types. One is pratibimba, that is reflective attachment, and another is chaya, that is shadow attachment. Yeah, so then somebody can read the next paragraph.
It is said by Rupa Goswami that the attachment exhibited by pure devotees for Krishna cannot possibly be perfected in the hearts of fruitative workers, karmis, or mental speculators because such attachment in pure Krishna consciousness is very rare and not possible to achieve even for many liberated persons.
Yeah,
As
so just a minute. So here we can see Prabhupada is saying the same thing. That attachment exhibited by pure devotees is different, and it cannot be the same as that exhibited by fruitive workers or mental speculators, because it is very rare. Yes, continue.
As stated in Bhagavad Gita, liberation from material contamination is the stage at which devotional service can be achieved. For a person who simply wants to have liberation and to merge into the impersonal Brahma Jyotir, attachment to Krishna is not possible to acquire. This attachment is very confidentially kept by Krishna and is bestowed only upon pure devotees. Even ordinary devotees cannot have such pure attachment for Krishna. Therefore, how is it possible for success to be achieved by persons whose hearts are contaminated by the actions and reactions of fruitative activities and who are entangled by various types of mental speculation?
Yeah. So then Prabhupada further talks about the imitators who, artificial think of Krishna's pastimes known as Ashtakaliya Leela. What is this Ashtakaliya Leela? That is, there are 8 prahars. A day is divided into 8 prahar. 8 threes are 24. Each prahar is of 3 hours. So then in every 3 hours, Krishna is performing some specific pastime. And then they artificially start meditating on those pastimes of Krishna. And sometimes some artificially imitate this, singing that Krishna is talking with him, or Radharani and Krishna both have come to him, they are talking to him. All these things, is being imagined. There is no reality in that. And so here it is mentioned, Prabhupada mentioned, they may captivate some innocent persons who have no knowledge in the science of devotional service. However, as soon as an experienced devotee sees all these caricatures, he can immediately evaluate such rascaldom. So those who are intelligent, they immediately know, no, this is something not true. And then further in the next paragraph, Prabhupada talks this imitative attachment means ratyabhas. Imitative attachment means ratyabhas. This imitative attachment can be divided into two headings, namely shadow attachment and para attachment or transcendental attachment. Okay, so now we'll see what it is. So here you see, this is the same thing which I mentioned just now. But somebody can read this.
If such a pretender is sometimes seen possessing imitative attachment to Krishna, that will not be accepted as real attachment. It may be said, however, that such attachment gives the pretender hope that he may eventually rise onto the actual platform of pure devotional service. This imitative attachment can be divided into two headings, namely shadow attachment and para, transcendental attachment.
So you see that such pretender is sometimes seen possessing imitative attachment. And it's not real. But there is a hope that he may rise to the actual platform. And what are these two types of imitative attachment as Prabhupada mentioned? They are pratibimba, reflective attachment, and chaya, shadow attachment. So now we'll see what is this pratibimba, ratyabhas, reflective attachment. So here the person is performing devotional service for some ulterior motive, some fruitive gain or even liberation. So you see what is his end result is not, what is the end result for a devotee actually? Krishna prema, correct? But here what they are desiring is fruitive gain or even liberation, which is not actually the aim of devotional service. Ulterior means something lower than the actual thing. So they have a very corrupt motive, yet the practice is very intense. Because there is a great desire or longing to achieve the fruitive gain or sometimes liberation. So that's why the practice is intense, but the motive is corrupt. And then when such kind of pratyabhas or the bhava, symptoms of bhava are seen, that is nothing but the reflection of genuine ecstasy of an advanced devotee. Reflection of genuine ecstasy of advanced devotee is seen in them. Yes, read somebody.
Sometimes it is found that a person actually attached to material enjoyment or salvation has the good fortune to associate with pure devotees while they are engaged in chanting the holy name of the Lord. By the good grace of the Lord, one may also cooperate and join in the chanting. At that time, simply by the association of such pure devotees, the moon-like rays from their hearts reflect on him, and by the influence of the pure devotees, he may show some likeness of attachment.
So he has desire for some fruitive activity or liberation, and somehow or other he comes in contact with some pure devotee. So he's still not yet clear with his goal. His goal is the same, and he starts chanting with that pure devotee. So then what happens? Sometimes the moon-like rays from the heart of that pure devotee reflects within his heart, and by the influence of this pure devotee, and because of this, he may sometimes show the likeness of attachment, as that is actually existing in that pure devotee. So when the association of pure devotee, he may be there and there may be some likeness, like that. And then Chaya Ratyabhas, the second one, that is a shadow attachment.
So Prabhuji, Pratibimba Ratyabhas is where the light reflection from a pure devotee is reflected on the other devotee, is it?
Yeah.
So that means that other devotees, he still didn't, his heart is not purified. Because I think with pure devotee, we also get, like when contact with that, there is a change in heart also.
Yeah, but it is not in one day, na? But sometimes the emotions are being expressed. We are talking about sometimes the emotions are being expressed by neophytes who are not yet purified. So they are called as Ratyabhas. And then the second category is Chaya Ratyabhas, that is a shadow attachment. The execution of devotional service is out of social convention or curiosity. Some jigyasa is there, or oh, because he is doing, so I am doing, because she is going for the program, so I am going, this kind of thought process is there. And motive is not corrupt. But the practice is also not intense. So this is a case mostly with all of us, we just sometimes come to practice because somebody is there, and our friend or somebody, and then we just join with them. May not have a strong desire to be a devotee of Krishna or something, but just likes the association of devotees, likes the yatras or kirtan, prasadam, whatever, so then it's just continuing. So the practice is not very intense, but there is no ulterior motive that something fruitive has to be achieved, that is not there, or liberation has to be achieved, that is not there. Basically, there is no goal only in that sense, we can say. It's just flowing with the flow. जैसी गंगा बह रही है वैसा वो बह रहा है. So like that. And he may exhibit slight resemblance of ecstatic symptoms. So such person may also sometimes exhibit. What Prabhupada says about it, please read.
Such shadow attachments or para attachments can develop if one associates with a pure devotee or visits holy places like Vrindavana or Mathura, and if an ordinary man develops such attachments for Krishna and fortunately performs devotional activities in the association of pure devotees, he can also raise to the platform of pure devotional service.
So now my question to all of you, which one do you feel is better? Why?
Because you do not have any ulterior motive, and then you just come across pure devotees, and then your heart transforms automatically.
But intensity is not there, huh?
But that would come. Initially, you do not have the intention, but with the contact with pure devotee, gradually you would experience those happiness with coming with like worshiping the Lord, or feeling how it is, and then once you experience that pleasure, your intention also would change.
Intensity, not intention.
Yeah,
Okay.
intensity.
Any other thought?
Here the association is strong, Prabhuji, compared to in Chaya Ratyabhas, compared to Para.
So you are also in the side of Sumitra Mataji, that this is better. Okay. Anybody feeling the other way? Anybody in the other party?
But I'm actually confused, Prabhuji, because in the other side also, for example, if I'm a devotee and if I'm getting associated with a Maharaj, the light of pure devotee reflects into my heart, and therefore that will also help me to progress into pure Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
So I'm a little confused, which is better.
Better, which is better. Okay. Anybody else is there on the Mataji's side or then Pratibimba side? Or others are neutral? No side. Somebody may say, whatever is your side.
Pratibimba is better, Prabhuji.
Why so?
Because the ulterior motive is to reach, to get the Krishna Prema. So, I don't know, we can't even imitate that. That's not right.
What is ulterior motive means?
To get Krishna Prema.
No, that is not ulterior motive. That is ultimate motive.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Evolution.
Yeah, correction. Ultimate motive, yeah.
Yeah. But then in Pratibimba, Pratyabhas, there is no this motivation.
Yeah, in Pratibimba, motive is only to get moksha or liberation.
Correct.
which is again a wrong path.
Correct.
That's a fruitive.
I feel chaya is only better, but this is one place where not having a goal is coming across as a good part.
So, yeah, actually, chaya is better. Why? Because although there is a good amount of intensity in Pratibimba Ratyabhas, but the motive is not proper. In Pratibimba Ratyabhas, what is the motive? It is just to get liberated, impersonalism, or to achieve some fruitive results. Whereas in Chaya Ratyabhas, although there may be no defined motive, but at least it is not something impersonalism or some fruitive activity. So that is glorious. And intensity is less. Why? Same reason. Because their intensity is high because he has that understanding, I want to achieve moksha. So therefore he is after it. Oh, what is the way? Okay, if chanting of the holy name is giving, let me chant. So he's intense in his chanting. But the goal is off. Whereas in this case, the goal is not, his goal is knowing that Krishna Prem and all, not that he's not knowing. But that goal he has got that goal after some, contact with some devotees and all. That was not his own personal desire. It will eventually come, as Mataji said, Sumitra Mataji. Eventually that intensity may come, but then initially it is not there. We are talking about our initial stages only. So that's why this Chaya Ratyabhas is better, and that's why Prabhupada calls in his book as Para. There is a better one. And second reason is, not second reason, actually Pratyabimba Ratyabhas means reflection. So when you see reflection in a mirror, it's very clear, isn't it? Very crystal clear. Whereas shadow casted on ground, how it is? Very hazy, vague, not very clear. Still, Chaya Ratyabhas is called Para because of having no ulterior motive. Okay? Any questions?
Prabhuji, so both Pratibimba Ratyabhas and Chaya Ratyabhas, both of them are in association itself.
Yeah, certainly. Without that, it is not possible only.
So, Prabhuji, can all the asuras trying to meditate and achieve one goal, can that be considered as Pratibimba ka example?
No. See, we have to understand here, the point is not about achieving impersonal state. The point in discussion is sometimes the symptoms of bhava are seen in neophytes. So what are they? That is being analyzed. So that symptoms which are exhibited by neophytes is categorized into two. It's a Pratibimba Ratyabhas and Chaya Ratyabhas. Is it clear now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
So, one doubt, Prabhuji. So, in both the cases, there is also chances, even if you have fructive desire or goal, you still might, like, after coming to in contact with the pure devotees, it might change, because initially you had that goal, but then you, after hearing about, like, from the pure devotees, your goal also might change, because you might feel that that was not the right goal for what you assumed. Like, for example, before even I heard anything, after coming in contact with ISKCON and all, I was thinking going to Swarg is the highest achievement. Like, not like Krishna Prem, or like there is like such thing exist beyond that, I never knew. But after hearing from devotees only. Okay, there is like even much bigger stuff that we can achieve than just like, so like we were always thinking that if we do a good karma, there will be a good result for that, and that's what we have been hearing from childhood. If you do good, you will get good.
Correct. So you see, I have shown on the this thing slide something that is in red. Please read that.
Such attachment gives the okay, I'll start from the beginning. If
No,
such
just in red. Whatever is in red, you read.
Such attachment gives the pretender hope that he may eventually rise onto the actual platform of pure devotional service.
Okay. What does it mean?
So that means that
That
even
means what you said just now.
right.
But again, please try to understand. We are talking about those people who experience symptoms of ecstasy, but they are not on the stage of bhav. We are talking of those people. We are not talking about anybody else here. You may see every one of us before coming to Krishna consciousness had a goofed up idea about, everything. We didn't even know what is spirituality. We didn't know what is the difference between pap, punya, and all these things. Nothing. Some vague idea was there here and there. After getting the knowledge from the right source, then we are knowing everything in the right way. That is a different point. But what here is being discussed is that sometimes this kind of attachment, as those who are on the stage of bhava, is also seen those who are having some fruitive desire, or those who are having liberation as their goal, or sometimes even others. So then what it is, that is being analyzed. So that is the two types of pratyabhas. One is the pratibimba, another is chaya. Okay. Yes, Sanju.
Prabhuji, when we say back home, back to Godhead, that is nothing but, would it be right to say that is nothing but liberation? And while the ultimate destination is actually Krishna Prema from a bhava state?
No, when we say back home, back to God, it is very clear. It means entering into the spiritual kingdom of God.
Kingdom of God, okay.
At the same time, the word mukti, moksha and mukti, these are two different words. Moksha is liberation from material existence or difficulties. And mukti, the word mukti is defined in Srimad Bhagavatam. Muktir hitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthiti. Mukti is nothing but situating oneself in one's own spiritual identity. So when we say spiritual identity, it means servant of Krishna. Jivera swarupa hai Krishnera nityadas. So that means one establishes oneself in his eternal position as servant of Krishna and engages in the activity of serving Krishna.
Serving Krishna, okay. Sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So now this point, transforming Ratyabhas into genuine bhav. So sometimes those who are exhibiting Ratyabhas, is there any opportunity for them to transform it into genuine bhav? So we already saw the quotation of Prabhupada that yes, it is possible by association of pure devotees is the only cause for both. Association of devotees is the only cause for both types of Ratyabhas. So that Sanjay Prabhupada was asking that pure devotees association is there in both types. Yes, it is there in both types. Without that, this Ratyabhas will not appear. And by serving such devotee only can transform Ratyabhas into genuine bhav.
It's 8 o'clock.
If such attachment is seen manifested even in some common man, Prabhupada is saying this, By the association of pure devotee, it can bring one to the perfectional stage. But such attachment for Krishna cannot be invoked in a person without his being sufficiently blessed by the association of pure devotees. So it's not just association; it is also uh, what we say,
Mercy.
serving the devotees in such a way that their heart flows towards us with the blessings. And when that mercy comes, then that genuine attachment will be there. Now, there is something called as losing Satyabhas also. Right now, we discuss Satyabhas, how it can be transformed to genuine bhav. Now, here the discussion, Rupa Goswami talks about losing Ratyabhas. Just as association of pure devotee is the only cause for both types of Ratyabhas, offending such devotees will gradually diminish the Ratyabhas, like the waning of moon. So how the moon waning is happen after Purnima, 15 days it takes to come again to Amavasya stage. Means no moon. In the same way, if one offends the devotee, then whatever Ratyabhas he was experiencing, he will start losing it. Yes, read. This is Prabhupada saying in the book.
As attachment can be invoked by the association of pure devotees, so attachment can also be extinguished by offenses committed at the lotus feet of pure devotees. To be more clear, by the association of pure devotee attachment for Krishna can be aroused, but if one commits offenses at the lotus feet of a devotee, one's shadow attachment or para attachment can be extinguished. This extinguishing is like the waning of the full moon, which gradually decreases and at last becomes dark.
So this is also actually special mercy of Krishna. Sometimes we experience some kind of taste, although it may be Ratyabhas, it may not be the genuine bhav, but we experience certainly. Sometimes, some places, like Prabhupada mentions that sometimes we go to Dham, then sometimes it is experienced, or sometimes in the Kirtan, some ecstatic Kirtan is going on and we really experience a different kind of bliss. Or sometimes in some lecture, we are hearing some katha, and in that we are engrossed and we are into the pastime by the mercy of the devotee who is speaking that katha. So this is all some examples of Ratyabhas, and we all have experience of this. But if we offend the devotees, then what happens? Then slowly this taste gradually starts decreasing. So if at all in our life we start finding, why I'm not feeling that same kind of taste now, when I'm in the kirtan, same kirtan is going on, same devotee singing, but last week it was so joyful, and this week why I'm not feeling that joy? Or last month so and so Maharaj had come and he spoke nice katha, and again 2 months later he has come, but I'm not feeling the same joy. Means what? Something is wrong. So to give us idea that you need to rectify yourself, Krishna has mercifully given this system. And he is also so merciful that Krishna doesn't immediately takes away everything. He is also taking away gradually, so that we at least come to our understanding, come to our senses, And if we are fortunate, then we can, think, consider, and then find out what has exactly happened, whom have I offended, and then we can, rectify ourselves, beg forgiveness, and again situate ourselves. So this is very, very dangerous offenses towards Vaishnava. So then, what is that offense? Is very nicely explained in this verse. Ninda kurvanti ye mudha vaishnavanam mahatmanam patanti pitrubhi sardham maharaurava samjishte hanti nindanti vaidveshti vaishnavanam nabhinandati krudhyate yati no harsham darshane patanti shat. These are the 6 ways by which one offends a Vaishnava. What are the 6 ways? That killing a Vaishnava, hanti, blaspheming him, nindanti, feeling malice towards him, not greeting upon seeing him, becoming angry with him, and not feeling happiness upon seeing him. So there's the 6 ways one can offend a Vaishnava. And then one may ask, so how my Ratyabhas is destroyed by offenses, So if we have offended a very great devotee, then the effect will be that much strong. If you have offended a medium level devotee, then maybe the person on the stage of bhava come down to level of ratyabhas, or person who is on the stage of ratyabhas, he may lose that. And somebody has offended a neophyte or a low level devotee, so then the effect will be little less. But nonetheless, effect is there. And that's why we should be very, very careful towards offenses of Vaishnava. So Rupa Goswami mentions there, one who is serious in his practice of Krishna consciousness will make sure that he will guard against himself offending Vaishnavas. Like that. So then, using Ratyavas further, Prabhupada says, so here Prabhupada is telling the same thing which I just now said. Read.
Transcendental attachment, either shadow or para, can be nullified by different degrees of offenses at the lotus feet of pure devotees. If the offense is very serious, the one's attachment becomes almost nil, and if the offense is not very serious, one's attachment can become second class or third class.
Read.
The most offensive mentality is impersonalism. Our devotional service will wane until extinguished. If someone becomes attached to the principle of salvation or to merging into the existence of the Brahma Jyotir, his ecstasies gradually diminish into shadow and para attachment, or else transform into the principles of Ahangropasana. Ahangropasana. This Ahangropasana describes a living entity when he begins spiritual realization by identifying himself with the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna.
So he falls down to lower and lower stages, even to the stage of Ahangropasana. So what is Ahangropasana? Please read.
Ahangropasana, sometimes it is found that a neophyte is taking part in chanting and dancing very enthusiastically, but within himself he is under the impression that he has become one with the Supreme Whole. This conception of monism is completely different from pure transcendental devotional service.
So now, can you make it out? You cannot make it out. It is only that person and Krishna and some pure devotees, they can find it out. Like we see in the case of even sometimes pure devotees do not know. I think Sanatan Goswami or someone, he was coming to Jagannath Puri to meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and on the way there was one person of the name Ramdas. So he was constantly chanting the names of the Ram. So he said to Sanatana Goswami, please help me, please allow me to serve you. I am also going towards Puri, so I will carry all your luggage and serve you. So Sanatana Goswami thought, is such a person who is constantly chanting the name, so what is the problem? So he came all the way. And when they came to Jagannath Puri to see Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so he was also there with him. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, upon seeing Sanatana Goswami, became so happy. And he expresses happiness. They talked with each other. And then he said he is Ramdas Vipra. He is constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard it, but he neglected it. And later on, when Ramdas Vipra went, so Sanatana Goswami asked that Mahaprabhu, that such and such, he was such a chanting, but I found that you just neglected him. He said he is thinking he is going to become Ram by chanting the name of Ram. So you see, even such a great soul as Sanatana Goswami could not detect such mentality, which only the Supreme Lord, who is sitting in the heart of each and every soul, body, he knows what is the actual mentality of any person. So that is Ahangropasana. He wants to become one with the Lord. Yeah. Then at the same time, we see that sometimes we can apparently see causeless bhava. What does it mean, causeless bhava? Means sometimes we see some devotees, they come to Krishna consciousness after we came, and suddenly we find they develop a lot of taste in some particular activity of Krishna consciousness, much better than what we are having. And we are wondering, oh, how come, he has come just now and then he is having such a taste. So Rupa Goswami explains, sometimes without undergoing serious devotional practice, one may suddenly manifest symptoms of ecstasy. We should not assume that he is pretending or exhibiting either of Ratyabhas. It may also be genuine. And what is the explanation? Please read Prabhupada's quote.
If,
However, yeah, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, please continue.
If, however, it is seen that a person has developed a high standard of devotion without having undergone even the regulative principles, it is to be understood that his status of devotional service was achieved in a former life. For some reason or another, it had been temporarily stopped, most probably by an offense committed at the lotus feet of a devotee. Now, with a good second chance, it has again begun to develop. The conclusion is that steady progress in devotional service can be attained only in the association of pure devotees.
Yes. Then apparent fault in those having bhava. So now this we are talking about those who are already situated on the stage of bhava. Not Ratyabhas. Now the discussion about Ratyabhas is over with the talk of how Ratyabhas is destroyed if one offends a Vaishnava. There Ratyabhas talk is over. The previous slide explained the sometimes the bhav is seen, but it is because of the previous practice which has been done in previous lifetimes. So now somebody may be on the stage of bhava, but there may be some apparent fault be seen in him. So how to deal with it? If some apparent fault is seen, who has developed real bhava, one should not be hostile toward him because he has accomplished the goal in all respects. Yes, read this. Ravin Prabhu.
Yeah. Fault is seen in a person who has developed real bhava.
I think net connection is not good.
Not be hostile towards him because he has accomplished the goal in all respects. Is it not audible, Prabhuji?
Now it is audible.
Yeah. If a person is completely detached from material enjoyment and has developed ecstatic devotion, even if he is sometimes service, one should not be envious of him.
So this verse from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, apichet suduracharo bhajate maam ananya bhav sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. So Prabhupada speaks about it in the book ahead that where it has gone. Yeah. It is confirmed also in Bhagavad Gita that a devotee Just a minute. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. So here Prabhupada says, it is confirmed also in Bhagavad Gita that a devotee who has unflinching faith in and devotion to the Lord, even if sometimes found to be accidentally deviated from pure devotional characteristics, should still be counted among the pure. Unflinching faith in devotional service in Lord Krishna and in the spiritual master makes one highly elevated in the activities of devotional service. So here Rupa Goswami gives this quotation. Please read this in Narsimha Puran, or even from the book you can read the last paragraph.
In the Narsimha Purana, it is stated, if a person has completely engaged his mind, body, and activities in the service of the Supreme Godhead, but externally he is found to be engaged in some abominable activities, these abominable activities will surely be very quickly vanquished by the influence of his staunch devotional force. The example is given that on the full moon, there are some spots which may appear to be pock marks. Still, the illumination spread by the full moon cannot be checked. Similarly, a little fault in the midst of volumes of devotional service is not at all to be counted as a fault. Attachment for Krishna is transcendental bliss. Amid unlimited volumes of transcendental bliss, a spot of some material defect cannot act in any way.
Yeah. But again, this is applicable to whom?
Who are at Bhava stage.
Yes, those who are in the stage of Bhava. Okay. So in summary, we saw today the 8 symptoms of Bhava, which may be imitated, or that's one more point which I forgot to explain. Sometimes it is not disclosed by genuine devotee. Like Prabhupada gives example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meeting Ramanand Rai at the banks of Godavari. So there, they both exhibited some symptoms of ecstasy. And when they saw that there were some Brahmanas who were observing this and they did not understand, so immediately they curtailed it, So sometimes the bhav, the genuine 8 symptoms of bhav may not be exhibited by genuine devotees. So that's why 9 reliable symptoms are given to ascertain the bhav in the devotee. And then 2 types of ratyabhas, which we saw, which are being seen in ordinary devotees, pratibimba and chaya. And chaya is termed as para or transcendental because of its having no ulterior motives. And then this pratyabhas can be transformed into genuine bhava by the powerful association of pure devotee and their blessings. And just as association can transform to genuine bhava, offenses can destroy ratyabhas or even genuine bhava. And lastly, we also discussed apparently causes bhav is because of some previous acts of devotional service, and apparent faults in those having genuine bhav should always be neglected. Okay. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments?
Prabhuji, in eagerness for achieving the desired success, why is eagerness called as the price that we pay?
So there's a verse by Rupa Goswami only. He says, Laulyam api ekala mulyam. That to achieve further intensity in Krishna consciousness, the price is intense greed.
Mm-hmm.
Means what? That I want to hear more. I want to chant more. I want to be with devotees more. This lobha, this greed, transcendental greed, is the price that we have to pay to progress further in Krishna consciousness.
But again, why it is a price? It is a good quality to have, no, Prabhuji?
Price is because generally we find the same thing in material world. We have to pay price for everything. So
Okay.
to make us understand इसका क्या मूल्य है, what is the price that we have to pay if we want to achieve Krishna consciousness? Have intense greed, have intense eagerness.
So when we have spiritual greed, we might have to deviate from our material duties. Can that be?
So that is not advisable. But if that intense greed is genuine, then apparently it may end up in like that. But at the same time, because the Krishna is the center of that person, Krishna will also make sure that there will be no difficulties in the material life.
Okay.
So it's a comparative positioning, Prabhuji.
Sorry?
So it's a comparative positioning.
Comparative means?
I mean, my greed towards getting closer to Krishna is then getting compromised in terms of my material attachments,
So
which
then
Krishna will eventually take care of it.
Actually, Krishna is only taking care of everything. It is our illusion that we are taking off our material life.
We are doing everything.
Only if we understand this, then probably there will be some development. Including me, please don't feel like that. I am also feeling that I am running the temple where I am staying. So we all feel that way. That's why we don't have dependence on Krishna. Okay. So I thought to give some good amount of time to this chapter, so I did not wrap up 19th chapter also in today's session. So we will have it on Tuesday. Is it okay?
Sure.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you all very much. Shri Samrat Sindhu ki jai.
Thank
Shri
you,
Rupa
Jai.
Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.